Not all men look at your dress or your scent. Real high-class men look for a lot more than your looks. For them, the words you speak or the way you carry yourself matters more than what costume you wear. So if you want to attract that hot guy you like a lot, you might want to know how you can attract him beyond your clothing. In the next few minutes, I am revealing 7 things that tell men that you have class. This awareness will set you apart in a group of women, and you will appear like the crown jewel among ordinary gems to high-class men. Are you ready to uncover those hidden things? Let's begin. Number 7. Emotional maturity. How good are you at high emotion situations? Do you get sudden outbursts? Do you get in tears at small matters? Or do you know how to control yourself in all situations? Believe it or not, emotional maturity is a trait that attracts high-class men a lot. Understand it like this. Let's say you're out with a group of friends and one of the guys there is someone that you've been getting to know. During the evening, something frustrating happens, maybe a mix-up with your order at a restaurant or a miscommunication in the group. While others are getting annoyed or complaining, you handle the situation calmly. Instead of snapping or getting upset, you politely explain the issue and work with the staff to get things sorted without a fuss. That guy noticed how you stay composed, didn't let your emotions control you, and kept the atmosphere light despite the situation. He's watching how you handle small challenges and sees that you don't let little things throw you off balance. It's subtle, but men notice these moments because they reveal a lot about your character and emotional maturity, which is far more attractive than any outfit you could wear. Now, why do guys prefer a woman with emotional maturity? You see, high-class men are very picky when it comes to getting into relationships. The first thing they want to avoid is unnecessary drama in their everyday life. They want a partner who can understand them and support them in tough times instead of being a burden. It means that if he's facing some problems, he expects his partner to calm him down and encourage him to face the problems. He wouldn't want one who gets panicked and starts to blame game instead of providing the actual support. Now, ladies, it doesn't mean you become emotionless and don't react to anything at all. As humans, we all lose ourselves sometimes. It's just that you don't make a habit out of it and learn to control it as much as possible. The best way to get emotionally aware is by having self-awareness. Understand your emotional triggers, try to avoid them, and learn to deal with them at the same time. Another important habit is learning to take a step back when emotions are high. If you feel yourself getting upset, take a moment to pause before responding. This gives you time to think clearly and prevents you from saying or doing something you'll regret later. Number 6. Pride. What if I told you that having pride in yourself is one of the most attractive qualities that you can have? Now, when I say pride, it doesn't mean feeling yourself superior or seeing others as inferior beings. It's all about how well you carry yourself, from your clothing to your surroundings and even your own body. Let me explain. Let's say that you had a successful date and you invited him to your home the very first day. Now, tell me what your home should look like. Should it be a mess with everything just lying around randomly, or should it be very organized, clean, hygienic, and peaceful? Of course, your home will be more inviting if it looks clean and organized. Similarly, if you go to the gym and exercise regularly and make sure you don't get that unnecessary fat, that means that you take pride in being healthy and fit, and you work hard to achieve that. Now, imagine you're out running errands or just grabbing coffee, and you cross paths with a guy who's been noticing you for a while. He sees how well you take care of yourself, not just in how you dress, but how you hold yourself. Your clothes are neat and thoughtfully chosen. Your hair is styled in a way that suits you, and there's an energy about you that says you care about how you present yourself to the world. These few examples hint that you are a high-class, prideful woman who takes her life seriously. You see, high-class men prefer a prideful kind of lifestyle for themselves, and they expect the same from their partners. When you keep yourself organized, healthy, and pretty, it signals that you are a high-value woman who respects herself. Men are naturally drawn to women who project confidence and self-worth. It's not about being perfect or always looking your best, but rather showing that you care enough to put effort into yourself and your surroundings. Now, The question is, how can you bring that pride into your life? In order to have this kind of pride, you have to start with the small tasks. Pay attention to how you feel about yourself, what wrong you are doing, and what you need to do to improve it. For example, if your home is always a mess, start with your room and make sure that you keep it organized every day. Then, move it to other places slowly until you get a habit of keeping your room clean. If you think exercising is too difficult, force yourself to go to the gym every day, even if you do it for 10 to 15 minutes. Then, push yourself to spend more time in the gym. In a maximum of 2 to 3 months, you'll get used to going to the gym every day. Remember, pride comes with discipline. When you discipline yourself, pride comes naturally. Number 5. Resilience. Life is full of obstacles, and we all have to face challenges. While normal people try to avoid those challenges, what really makes you a high-class woman is that you face those challenges with a positive mind. Resilience is all about bouncing back, staying strong through tough times, and keeping a positive outlook even when things aren't going your way. Men notice a woman's resilience because it shows that she's strong and determined, and doesn't let life knock her down for long. It's like you just lost a job, and you've been doing it for years, or you lost someone you loved or had a breakup. Instead of losing yourself completely, you get a hold of yourself and move on, understanding that those who won't stand on their feet will be left behind in life, so you bounce back strong and adapt. When you lose your job, you start finding the next in a few days, instead of just sitting around at home and spending time thinking about the past. If you fail an exam, you understand that it happens, and sometimes that's part of life. Instead of falling apart, you join the next class and you start working even harder. Or, if you lose a loved one, instead of crying for months, you understand the cycle that is life. You pray for that person, but you also continue with your life. High-class men notice resilient women because it is such an attractive quality. It shows that you have an inner strength that is required to have a strong, fulfilling relationship. Life is full of ups and downs, especially for men, and that's why they want a partner who can not only face those obstacles with them, but also helps them in the fight. Being resilient shows that you won't fall apart at every setback, and that you can be there for yourself and a partner when life gets tough. Number 4. Respect. Another thing that tells men that you have class is how respectful you are of others. Being respectful is naturally an attractive quality, especially in relationships. The more respectful you are of others, the more attractive you will be to high-class men. And by the way, this is one of the first things men might notice in you in a gathering or in a public place. They might be noticing you from afar. How are you meeting and treating others? Here's why. When a guy gets into a relationship, he wants to meet with his inner circle. He may want you to meet with his friends, his family, siblings, parents, and even cousins. The way you treat his people will make or break his reputation in front of them. That's why it is extremely important for him to know how respectful you are of others. And trust me, they might be noticing you when you expect it the least. It could be at a time when you are talking with a cashier or a waiter in a restaurant. It could be a time when you are meeting new friends in university. It could be meeting colleagues on a new job. It's like staying polite and nice to everyone at all times is proof that you are a real high-class woman who respects others. Moreover, respect goes beyond just being nice in public. It's also about how you talk about people when they're not around. Men notice when a woman speaks about others with kindness and avoids gossip or negativity. It shows maturity and integrity, and it's a clear sign that you hold yourself to high standards. Once you respect everyone, you will notice more and more people are attracted to you. So, what's the best way to be polite and respect others? The most important thing to do is active listening, which means you carefully listen to what others are saying and show them that you value their words and opinions. If you're in a conversation, try to understand where the other person is coming from and respond thoughtfully. This shows that you're not only listening, but also empathizing with their situation. Number 3. Modesty. Humility is one of those things that seems quite innocent. However, it carries tremendous strength behind it. It's not regarding acting helpless or making little of your abilities in your work. It's more of being self-assured without feelings or the need to remind others of your success or search for approval from them. It's also important to add that men pay attention when a woman is beautiful and modest, and it is something that really captures their attention. Picture this. We are in a social gathering and people are busy discussing their achievements, yet you don't feel the urge to overdo it. Yes, you are happy and satisfied with what you have achieved, but deep down, you are quite content and do not feel compelled to boast about it. A guy observing this gets to see a woman who is confident. Somebody who does not have to be the center of attention and still feels like royalty. Such assuredness, as understated as it is authentic, gets their attention because it proves you are not trying to be noticed while being unnoticeable is the last thing that you want. What makes the concept of modesty so compelling is the fact that there is nothing as genuine as the confidence that comes with modesty. This is an indication that emotionally you are secure and that you are not the one to go running after compliments or praise. This is appealing to men because they do not have to regret going with her. She does not require confirmation from anybody, and also demonstrates to society that you respect them by not exposing your privacy to them. You understand when to step aside and allow others to share the limelight, which is emotional intelligence. If you want to learn how to be modest, it begins with knowing how to remain humble. Celebrate your achievements, but do not overemphasize them to the extent of developing an overly inflated sense of yourself. Stop asking yourself how many things you've done and start focusing on what you have gained throughout the process. If someone pays a compliment, accept them and be merry, but do not become proud at heart. Being humble does not mean that one tries to deny success. It means that one should not let success define them. Number 2, kindness. Kindness is one of those virtues which is universally admired. However, we seldom discuss it thoroughly. It's not about being polite when everything is hunky-dory. It's about being kind and gentle and tolerant when things are slightly off. Let me assure you that men pay attention when a woman is charitable to a fault. This speaks volumes of her as a woman. She is thoughtful and caring, and that is wonderful in bed. Recall a time when you did an extra thing for a colleague. Perhaps you even supported your friend who was in a bad mood or tried to brighten up somebody's day. It may sound like a little thing, but believe me, that small act of kindness is not unnoticed. Guys notice it, and they enjoy it since it depicts that you have people's welfare at heart. That's the kind of thing that sets a person apart beyond the physical features of beauty. But of course, kindness is not simply mannered courtesy. It's not about the grand gesture. It's about how you interact with people, your mates, your relatives, and strangers. If you are the sort that is always willing to stand by or give encouragement, then it is a lot to say. This men notice because it would be easy to make them understand that you are an easygoing person with a good heart, and that is what they desire in a woman. It tells them that in any relationship that you are going to be kind and supportive. I think of it as a very big plus for them. It is the kind of class quality that they seek in women. So, how can you be even kinder? Well, it starts with the small things, like smiling at someone, giving a genuine compliment, or just being a bit more patient when things get tough. Sometimes it's about being a good listener when someone needs to vent, and when you approach situations with empathy instead of judgment, you'll find that kindness flows naturally. The other show of kindness is offering people a bit of grace. Well, everyone can make a mistake, right? But it is not possible for every human to have a perfect heart all the time. But when you bow in an articulate manner and rhetorically reply to them without bitterness, it makes them feel valued. And that, in a word, is what kindness is all about. The willingness to be tolerant, even when it isn't easy. Number 1, independence. And finally, ladies, let's talk about our final thing that shows men you have class, and that is independence. You may have heard someone using the word strong, independent woman. It's pretty much the same thing. Independence is an attractive quality in itself, and it makes you stand out from others. Let me explain why high-class men look for independent women. Think about it. If you are relying on him for every small thing, like calling or texting him for every small problem. He is not gonna like that at all. Contrary to this, if you can handle your problems yourself, you become more attractive. A real-life example might be something as simple as managing your own finances or making plans without needing constant input. Maybe you've booked a weekend trip on your own or handled a stressful work situation without leaning on him for every step. When men see this, they notice that you've got it together. You're not waiting around for someone to fix things for you. You're already handling it. That's a big turn-on because it shows that you're responsible and capable, which are traits that men deeply admire. You see, high-class men don't look for someone who gets too dependent on them. They usually have busy lives and they look for a partner who can bring a balance into their lives. If they are too busy with some tasks, their partner can't handle them. If their partner is facing issues, she can deal with them on her own. Now, it doesn't mean that you're cold or distant. It just means that you have your own life and interests. Men find this classy because it demonstrates that you're well-rounded. You're someone who doesn't rely on others for happiness or fulfillment. Alright ladies, let's end our video here. I hope this video helps you find what men really find attractive, and you now know how to improve yourself to become a more classy lady. Give us your support with a like and subscribe to our channel for more educational videos on relationships. Share your insights and suggestions in the comments section.